So
I love it.
did you know that Quentin Tarantino went to a strip club and he paid $10,000 to lick a stripper's feet until they pruned like raisins? This is a thing. It says a strip club manager called NorCal Lowlife claims that Quentin Tarantino once splashed $10,000 to lick a woman's feet until they wrinkled like prunes.
Going by Lowlife is great.
Awesome.
So it said Quentin apparently visited the club without specifying when, and it was called Crazy Girls. The filmmaker requested a VIP room and the company of the dancer with the biggest tits and the biggest ass there.
Can you blame him?
You can't.
blame him?
And you know what? This is the guy with the most normative sexuality in Hollywood, I bet.
Oh yeah, in a world full of Bryan Singers and other such people that have been accused of very, very bad, bad things.
Also, if you're looking at like drag brunches versus a strip club, the strip club almost looks wholesome.
Yeah.
Lowlife said he went to a security room and watched the action on CCTV. This sounds illegal. He's sitting down. She's about to do her little ... take her top off. And he gets up, throws her on the effing seat, takes her boots off one by one, both shoes, and just starts licking the bottoms of her feet, sucking toes. Lowlife claims the licking lasted for about half an hour and added that by the end of it, the stripper's feet looked like, you know, when you take a bubble bath, like prunes.
I'm picturing Lowlife pulls out a stopwatch, like a gold-plated stopwatch, and just hits go.
Yeah.
And time the whole thing.
He was watching this whole thing, just losing his mind.
Look, you know.
And he said, I think he gave her 10 G's.
That's pretty
worth
good.
it. I don't know.
I'm sure, like her feet went back to normal, right? I'm sure they had a great time.
Tarantino's foot fetish is an open secret in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Anyone who's seen Dusk Till Dawn or any of these movies.
And
knows
this
that
article
that's-
also
yeah.
cited in 2010, Uma Thurman toasted Quentin Tarantino by serving him champagne in her black velvet Louboutins. So he also has a shoe fetish, along with the feet fetish. And
do those correlate?
Eli Roth,
What guy
at the
doesn't
same
wanna...
event, roasted Quentin Tarantino, saying a bad taste Holocaust joke that the director had a bigger shoe collection than Dachau. That's rough.
Bravo Dave says, why is this news? Well, not everything has to be news. Sometimes you just have fun talking about the absurdity that is Hollywood. And look, Quentin Tarantino, like you said, this is probably about as normal as you get when it comes to sexual fetishes in Hollywood. And two, when you're Quentin Tarantino, you're given some leeway. When you make those movies, when Pulp Fiction is on your resume, you're allowed to lick a woman's feet for 30 minutes. Just the way it is.
He is convicted in his belief that feet are more cinematic than sex scenes.
Texas Reservoir Toes. Foot
fetishes are like actually shockingly common.
Yeah. What you explained why? What is
I don't know the stats on it, but basically people have said there's a scientific explanation for it.
Can you tell me what it was again?
Where I'm not like a neurologist or whatever, but the area of your brain that is like associated with arousal is close to the area of your brain that deals with like stimuli to your feet, or like how you associate feet. And for some people, the like neural pathways or like the wires are crossed, and it's sort of like a I don't know. It's not a birth defect, okay, but like a minority of people have like the wires crossed there.
I'm not shaming this dude. Dude, pay
you're
for
more
it. Do whatever
likely
you want, dude. I don't give a crap.
You know how there's like the argument about whether you're born gay or whether your experiences make you, whether it's nature or nurture. Foot fetishes are more arguably nature than nurture than homosexuality, which is crazy to me. Like, so there's your bro science.
I don't know if people think I'm not shaming this dude. Do whatever you want. It was legal, consensual. You paid for it, brother.
I think it's degenerate.
And get your bag, queen, to the girl who did it. I don't
think
care.
It's degenerate, but on the scale of degeneracy, especially when it comes to Hollywood directors, it's not so bad. I mean, at least he's not Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider has a foot fetish, but it's specifically for the feet of minors.
Yep.
And that's not cool.
No, it's not. Like when I see like this honestly does, this is how fucked up society is. This reminds me of a more wholesome time in Hollywood when all you had to worry about was dudes who just wanted to drink champagne from the feet of women.
Tarantino never got Me Too'd.
No. It's
Take note of that.
Also, okay, look. like this is one of those things, right? Where like we see so much about degeneracy and sexuality in Hollywood, and I do recoil sometimes because I'm also not like if we're talking two legal adults doing something that they want to do, you can't make me care. Like you chose to do this. That's your thing. That's fine. There is something to be said, and you make the point often, like when we put this on movie and television shows about what it means for the culture. But in this dude's private time by himself, am I supposed to actually what I would like to see is like a mockumentary where he's trying to make his next movie and it's just not working, and he needs to go on like a foot fetish bender to get it done because it's like he goes on like a foot fetish diet while he's trying to make his last movie and he can't do it because he can't like I don't care, dude. Do whatever you want to do. It doesn't bother me. Like it's weird because it's like it's behind the scenes, right? If we're talking in the movies, I mean, I still don't care, but I know that you look at it from more of a, I don't know, how would you describe that perspective?
What are the ripple effects for society in the media we consume?
Like my argument there tends to be more like, who are the parents letting their kids watch these movies at impressionable ages? Like,
I feel like kids shouldn't watch Tarantino
Tarantino's
movies.
Making R-rated movies anyway, so it's not like he's making movies for kids anyways. If you're an adult, it's your responsibility to be grown up enough to understand the difference.
Adults are more impressionable than you think.
Well, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. But also, he had commentary about whether or not streaming movies have any...
He took some shots at Ryan Reynolds here.
Yes, he did.
He was in an interview with Deadline. He said, now is a good time because what even is a motion picture anymore? It's just something that they show on Apple. That should be a diminishing returns.
Yep.
I'm not picking on anybody, but apparently for Netflix, Ryan Reynolds has made $50 million on this movie and $50 million on that movie and $50 million on the next movie for them. I don't know what any of those movies are. I've never seen them. Have you?
The only one I can think of is Red Notice, and he did. Okay, so he did Red Notice, and he did the one with Mark Ruffalo, The Adam Project.
Have you seen them?
The Adam Project was actually cute. It was good.
Okay. But
the Red Notice was in the same vein of all of the Russo brothers movies. It's got Gal Gadot and The Rock in it with him, and it's just so like they do all look like they were made by ChatGPT. Yeah. They do.
He said he doesn't believe streaming movies exist in the zeitgeist, adding, it's almost like they don't even exist.
They need to go one way or the other, right? Like, so I loved Extraction. But Extraction is almost all action. Like, there's very little in the way that I even remember of story. And Extraction 2 is coming out soon, and I want more of it. And they're like 17-minute uncut scene, like uncut action scene, like no other takes. Obviously, there are other takes, but they're disguised. And I'm like, that's what I want. I want more of that. I don't want some vague story that's of varying levels of quality depending on who your writers were. When you're making these action movies for these streamers, you should focus on the action and less on the story because they don't seem to be able to get the story right. You'd think that the idea would be you're telling a big budget film on supposedly a TV movie budget. Obviously, we know the Netflix budgets for these movies are astronomical, but clearly your focus should be on the story because in the back in the old days, only theater releases had the budget for big budget action scenes. But no, that's not what they're doing here.
When it came to The Little Mermaid, we were saying like, no, it doesn't have to make sense, but it still should. It should make sense to the adults watching, and the questions they have about a story should have answers.
Yep.
Period. Even if the kids aren't asking about it.
Or at least you should be more discerning about what questions make sense.
It goes the same for these like streaming action movies that are like heavy on action, low on story. The story should still make sense, and the story should still be the reason that any of those action scenes have a level of suspense or meaning or stakes to them.
Here's the problem. I don't think it's not that they don't make sense. It's that they're just boring.
Low effort. Yeah.
They're just
so then how is an action scene in that movie supposed to like excite you or pull you in at all if there's no stakes?
In Extraction, it's because of Chris Hemsworth. You buy into Chris Hemsworth as that character.
But look at The Gray Man. I mean, I have no idea why you like that movie.
I mean, like is a strong word.
You seemed to.
It was fine.
Maybe you were just trying to rile me up, but like that movie sucked.
No, to me.
And why would an actor of Ryan Gosling's caliber be in it, or even Anna de Armas?
You saw the budget of those movies. They probably got a great payday off doing those movies.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Tarantino acknowledged that they make money on these movies, but they're not going to be culturally relevant or even for a year after they come out, let alone down the line decades from now.
Actually, for an actor, think about this. It might actually be the safest bet for them. If you're an actor and your pedigree is that you're fantastic, you pick these great roles, what's more dangerous? Is it picking a big budget streaming movie that nobody will remember in 3 months, or potentially doing a theater release that everybody hates and then you're remembered for it forever? You're actually probably safer you're probably safer making big money on the streaming release, because even if it's bad, nobody will remember it.
Yes, I get that part of it. But Tarantino would say, and this is why he's like earned his pedigree as a director, he would say like, well, have the balls to like take a risk on something that you believe in.
He's doing the Barbie movie.
He is.
So Gosling
to his credit.
He did take a risk. Also, a director's perspective on this might be vastly different than an actor's perspective on this.
I think Dave Bautista is doing what The Rock should be doing, but isn't. Dave Bautista is taking all these roles in different genres, and like he's being adventurous. And
I mean, The Rock tried that earlier in his career. Like he settled into where he is now.
I guess so.
Be cool. Like he did roles when he first started that were that had more range than what he's doing now.
I just think Dave Bautista is like gonna become more relevant because he's still willing to like take risks in the roles he takes, not just being the buff cool guy.
I liked him in Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin, he did a really great job.
He did.
In Glass Onion too.
And it's interesting too, because he's going to be able to, there's probably endless roles like that for him, roles that play against his size and look.
Yeah.
That he'll be able to, I mean, that could still run the risk of getting boring eventually. Like maybe every 3 or 4 movies where you subvert the expectations, you should just do one big budget movie where you just take a bunch of people out because you're a huge, enormous pro wrestler.
I loved Dave Bautista as a knockoff Andrew Tate red pill YouTuber.
Yeah.
Like that was so funny to me.
Yep.
And even though it's making fun of us in a way,
it's funny too because
it's making fun of like critique of feminism.
Is annoying. Dude, he's so annoying on Twitter. Like Bautista's annoying.
I get it, but like he did a good job.
Yeah. No, he did.
And I'm able to laugh at myself, and people generally on like this like countercultural side of the fence are able to laugh at themselves. Yep.
I liked what they did with his girlfriend, who was very clearly like
she's clearly a grifter who doesn't believe anything she's saying.
She's like, I want to pivot into politics.
Kate Hudson's character as well was like making fun of the grifter influencer who is like more woke in her public image. You know?
Yeah. What was it? It's like, I thought they made sweatpants at the sweatshop.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's like getting heat online for her unethically produced loungewear line. Like I thought that was hilarious.
Bunny Ayala in the chat says David B. He didn't wish to be typecasted. The Rock sold out when he endorsed. I think he means endorsed, not enforced, Kamala for VP. Yeah, The Rock getting involved with politics sucked. Like that was like be the not dangerous person, Rock. Like if you're gonna be the completely neutered person, go the whole way and be completely neutered on everything.
I love the remix of
Glass Bunyan by Quentin Tarantino.
Ah no. Oh no.
Who said that? Alan Danger, you win for the day,
Shout
my
out.
friend.
I love the remix of The Rock saying "Shut up, bitch."
Oh yeah,
have you heard that?
Yeah, where it's like,
he's never gonna be that guy.
That was when The Rock was cool. When he would just
it's like Will Smith. I never experienced that.
Yeah.
I never experienced The Rock being cool.
It's hard to explain.
You know what? The first time I saw The Rock in anything was either The Game Plan with Peyton, whatever her name is. The like football
Manning?
Wait, what?
Peyton Manning?
No. It's a little girl that played his daughter.
Oh, I don't know who it is.
I think it was called The Game Plan, and I saw him in
Peyton List?
No, not that one.
Oh.
But
different Peyton.
Yeah, and also his cameo in Hannah Montana. That was how I was introduced to The Rock.
Yeah.
In my generation, it's just like Will Smith.
Pain and Gain is The Rock's best movie. I also liked him in Empire State with like one of the Hemsworth brothers. Like it had this TV budget movie feel to it, but It was really, really good. But you'll never understand like how The Rock was so good at making fun of people. It was his bread and butter. Like the way that he would call Stephanie McMahon a slut with various, like him and Chris Jericho would just find various ways to call Stephanie McMahon a hoe was incredible. It's incredible. And it was a product of a different time.
That's a privilege of your generation.
It really is. Like you'd have to like, even if you went back and rewatched, it wouldn't have the same, because it was so good at the time.
It's not like I can go watch Independence Day and suddenly think that Will Smith is cool again. But yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. As far as Quentin Tarantino, he's not wrong about this stuff. And when I talk about these movies, like people are talking about like I have like my standards are too low, but this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the subjectivity of art, meaning like if you love a genre and a mid-level version of that genre, it could depend on the day. I've even found what you eat beforehand affects how you feel about a movie. I'm not kidding you. I was fairer to the episodes of Rings of Power when I ate beforehand.
That's just you. I'm neutral on that. I notoriously sneak food into every movie theater, and I enjoy myself. But I'm not gonna like a movie just because of that.
But if you're watching a movie and you're immersed in the experience, maybe I'm just more in my feels. But when I'm watching something, how I feel about it the first time around says a lot about it, and how I feel in that moment is going to affect that in a lot of ways. So
Deuce Boogaloo said the game plan is and will always be The Rock's best role, and the girl's name is Madison Pettis. Oh, I got it mixed up. Yep. She was also on Corey in the House and grew up hot. If you want to take a look at her.
I don't know who it is. Never heard of her.
Yeah, that's more. She was like a child star on Disney, so I watched her more. I saw her on Corey in the House. She was good in that role too.
I just look for like, I get it. People get annoyed, but this is one of the things about when I talk about the subjectivity of art. What I found is that a lot of people pretend they're open-minded, but when you like something they don't like, or you do like, or you don't like something they do like, people get real offended real quickly. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Oh, what, you like that? That's freaking awful. How could you like that? You don't like this? Oh, why don't you like this? This movie's so awesome." Like it's giving desperate vibes.
So what you were saying earlier, it's just like how people say, you know, you're not remembered for what you said to a person or like what you did, but how you made them feel, and it's the same way for any entertainment.
I think that's how it is for me. Like for most of the stuff that I like, when I review it, I tend to like, if I liked it, I have a hard time reviewing it because it's just like, I liked it. It made me feel good. It's fine. Like
But I think anything you like, you can still see like ways that it could have been better.
Yes, like usually, like the sad thing is usually those critiques come easier to me after watching it a second time. But when we're doing these reviews, we tend to do it right after the first time we've seen it, which doesn't lend itself to great review. It's most of those are first impression reviews. How did I feel about it in the moment? You can't really give us, at least in my opinion, it's harder, not impossible, to give a really, really good nuanced review without seeing it a couple of times, unless you're really, really, maybe you just have the ability to process it that quickly. I don't. I need to see a movie or a TV show a couple of times before I can accurately give a good review. Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.